accept and sometimes hard to detect. Technology can change faster than culture, sometimes and vice versa. I give two examples. The first one is, well, one that could happen within a couple of decades. It could greatly reduce concerns about chemical carcinogens, which currently cause a lot of dread. The second example is one that's already happened. It concerns female reproductive freedom. But my example is more recent than the contraceptive pill. In this case, I believe politics will crumble. Now, I still do armchair biological study. It seems to me that most DNA mutations, the change of a single nucleotide from one identity to another, like cysteine to tyrosine, are caused by electrostatic forces. Most would agree there's at least an 80% chance this is true. DNA is the most conductive fiber that exists. And we know that various high energies like X-rays and UV light cause mutations. The kicker is that all chemical reactions at their most basic level are electrostatic as well. So the mutagenicity, the mutation possibility of something like formaldehyde or arsenic can basically be explained by ions and cations, which themselves have electrostatic definitions. As atoms come together to form molecules, their density distributions polarize in the direction of approaching atoms, and these are attractive forces between pairs of molecules that extend out to great distances. So molecular electrostatic potential allows us to analyze both chemicals that can donate or accept electrons and DNA. Now, 100,000 chemicals now exists in the world in areas from agribusiness to medicine. Determining whether they'll cause mutations currently requires laborious testing, and they're limited in their capacity. Basically, as they say, mice lie and monkeys exaggerate. Successful computer models don't really exist. They do have them, but they simply demonstrate limited predictive capacity. For example, in the drug toxicity area, identifying something that will cause a mutation really only works about half the time. Now, what all software programs have in common is they either focus on chemicals or they focus on DNA. The electrostatic dimensions of DNA, which implicates base pairs in forming unique sequences, has important implications. It depends on the sequence in the whole DNA chromosome. Now we know that chemicals will intersect these sequences in various ways. A chemical may intersect without causing any electrostatic overload, or it could cause something damaging. Now, chemicals can be characterized by electrostatic potentials and DNA sequences defined by their electrostatic natures. So I think artificial intelligence can train on how chemical molecular electrostatic potentials intersect DNA. That'll allow chemicals to be evaluated without testing and much faster. And I think this has a 50% chance of happening within 25 years. Now, my other example has already occurred. It has to do with abortion, a topic normally to be approached with a 10-foot pole. And I'm not here to wax on about it as a right or a tragedy, except to note that regardless of whether it's legal, women will continue to have them, as would men if they got pregnant. My point is about technology, which in this arena has outstripped politics and culture. Texas passed a law that deputizes people to go after the abortion infrastructure. Yet after several months of being in place, abortions have not diminished, apparently. Some of this is due to women traveling to other states, but the biggest part is there's a pill that women can take that causes an abortion. 30 years ago, women had to go to a pregnancy clinic to get a test. Now, 20 years ago anyway, that changed, and she can tell if she's pregnant without and have an abortion without anyone else knowing. So unless states open everyone's mail, which certainly isn't going to happen, that can't be stopped. Now, there will still be women who need surgical procedures or have pre-existing conditions, complications, other causes. But for the majority, a private pill solves the problem. And of course, 50 years ago, the contraception pill was produced, and that was credited with permitting women to enter any workplace, enabling a level of sex equality impossible otherwise. So in the reproductive domain, technology trumps religious, cultural, and political arguments. Technology can overcome and undermine social divisions, cultural norms, and political issues. So those of us who can develop it need to consider how to provide solutions. Thank you.